Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about get anyone to want you. So if you want to appear more attractive, if you want to appear more attractive to the opposite sex, if you want to attract more friends into your life, if you want to attract more job opportunities, those kinds of things, but most specifically your love life, then there are a few things that you can do to make yourself more high value so that you're more attractive, basically, right? So the first thing that I want to get into is having a healthy respect for yourself, okay? And the interesting thing about people who have a high respect for themselves, they're usually the people that don't really care as much about other people's opinions. They're the ones that usually, kind of just beat to their own, live by the beat of their own drum, basically. They follow their own sort of path, right? And they have opinions and things that they value that they don't let up on, right? They're not people pleasing, essentially, right? And if you would like more tips on basically on how to gain more respect in life from other people and for yourself, then I highly recommend that you go and watch this video on 6 ways to gain respect in life, and that's on my personal development channel. So having a healthy respect for yourself is really important. Now, when I say respect, I don't mean conceit, being like that or being arrogant or anything like that. Like, you can still have respect for yourself and still be a nice person, right? And what I mean by that is that you can still have opinions and values and to stick by them, but stick by them in a very polite and kind of not caring kind of way. Right, so if you haven't, let's say you're on a date with a woman, right, or a guy, if you're a woman watching this, and you have a certain opinion and that opinion happens to come up, like let's say it's a political opinion, right, of perhaps you're right wing or left wing or something like that, and they're the opposite, right, and you start talking about those things. You can agree to disagree, right? You don't have to be arrogant about it. You don't have to pretend that you're better than them or anything like that. You can just say, well, you know what, that's my opinion. That's who I think I should vote for. Or, that's my opinion on that ideology. But, you're free to have your opinion too, but I'm not going to change mine for yours, right? Especially if it becomes a bit of a debate or they start getting angry about your opinion. You can have opinions and still be respectful about it, right? So having a healthy respect for yourself can really help with that. And what are the key things in that is usually not worrying about other people's opinions and basically putting your opinion of yourself higher than other people's opinions of you, right? Because a lot of people get so needy and so insecure when they're on a date with someone that they really like, and they're worried that if they say the wrong thing, they're going to lose that person. So what they do is they just become really agreeable. They're like, oh yeah, oh, you like rock? Yeah, I love rock, but deep down they love rap, right? That was something that I used to do. Like, I didn't have hardly any respect for myself as a teenager. And I remember this kind of circumstance when I was trying to make friends and things like that. Like, I would pretend that I liked the bands of everybody, right? All the people I wanted to be friends with. Oh yeah, I really love the music that you're into. I really love your bands. Even if though I didn't, right? And I spent so much money on gigs, going to these different concerts that I just didn't give a crap about, right? And I didn't really like the music that much. Just because I was just so desperate for friends. So you don't want to do that kind of thing. Like, if you're on a date with someone and they say that they like something and you absolutely hate that, or you don't like it, or you have no interest in that, don't be afraid to say so. Now, it doesn't mean that you're disrespectful to what they like. It just means that, if they say, oh yeah, I really love rock and roll, but you love rap, you'd be like, well, yeah, so I've heard some rock songs, some of them are good, but I prefer rap. I really love rap music. And just let it be. Right? Don't worry if music is so important to them that they will stop seeing you after that. Then so be it. Right? At least you were honest and you were true to yourself. Right? Because that's one of the things about what people who respect themselves act and behave like. They are true to themselves. They're true to their likes. They're true to their dislikes. Right? It doesn't mean that they're rigid. They can be open to new things, right, and open to new genres of music or likes and dislikes and values and things and opinions. Then they can have a healthy discussion about those things. But in reality, if they really do like something, they'll stick by that, right? And that's the kind of person that you need to become if you want to become more attractive, right? Because it's not attractive to be needy and to basically be fluctuating like a chameleon, right? And be everything to everybody, right? You got to have your own personality and stick to that, basically. Okay. So another thing that can help, to attract, to become more attractive, so maybe anyone will want you, is to have standards and be selective with who you date. So now, this doesn't mean that you're mean. It doesn't mean that you become so picky that, you have to find that perfect person and things like that, because some things are going to be more important to you than not when you're dating, right? So it's important then to figure out what those things are. What is important to you? Do you want to be with someone who wants kids? Do you want to be with someone who wants to get married? Do you want to be with someone who likes the same hobbies as you? What are those important hobbies? Because it may be the case that you may have some hobbies that you would absolutely love, like, oh yeah, he or she needs to have those hobbies. But there may be some other things that are not so important. Perhaps, yeah, they like a lot of the things that you do, but they also like to paint, but you don't like to paint. Well, that's fine. They can just paint on their own and do their own sort of thing, right? So you have to figure out what's important to you, because there might be a case, going back to the music scenario, like let's say you're really, really passionate about a certain genre of music, and it's like a huge part of your life. Perhaps you have like posters everywhere, you've got loads of CDs, and you go to gigs frequently, you follow the band a lot. Like if it's a huge passion of yours, then obviously you need to find someone who has the same kind of passion, or at least likes the same genre, so they won't get too alienated by your passion, right? So so you need to figure out what's important to you, essentially, right? Because there's some people out there like me, like I'm not too fussed with what kind of music my partner likes, because I'm not, even though I like music, I'm not like super hardcore passionate about a specific band or a specific genre. I like all kinds of different genres, basically, apart from the ones that I tried to get into when I was a teenager, right? And so it doesn't bother me what music my wife listens to, and a lot of the music she listens to anyway is music that I either like or I think is okay. There's nothing that she listens to that I absolutely hate, right? So, it's not a big deal breaker for me what kind of music my wife likes. It's not, right? But it may be for you, right? So you need to figure out what these things are, what these deal breakers are, right? So when you go out on a date, you know what you're looking for. Right, so if you are like a hardcore hard metal fan or whatever, heavy metal, and you meet a woman who let's say likes R&B, right, or Beyonce or something like that, and you absolutely detest that kind of stuff, right, like to a passion, then you know that that's a deal breaker for you. Right. I think another thing that's really important as well is lifestyle as well. You need to figure out if you've got the same lifestyle as someone. So basically, let's say, for example, always go to bed at 9 o'clock and you wake up at 5 and you go to the gym, and you're really healthy, and you've got lots of goals, you've got lots of things that you're working towards, you go to work, and then maybe you do another workout when you get home, and you create a healthy meal, and then you're back in bed by 9, right? Let's say you do all those different things, and yet you start dating someone who likes to go out partying, and they come back at 3 in the morning, right? Or they stay up all night watching Netflix and they don't go to bed until 2, right? And they eat junk and they just eat pizza all the time. They always order in takeout and things like that. Then that's not the kind of person that you want to be with, right? Because a lot of the time, a lot of people pick the wrong partner, and that's why a lot of the time there's a lot of divorces going on. I know there's a lot of issues. There's a number of different issues that go into that kind of thing. But one of the main things that people get wrong is that they don't pay enough attention to these things when they start dating someone, and then they settle with them, right? And then 5 years goes by, right? And they realize that, oh my God, I've got a mortgage with this person, I've got kids with this person, and we're just nothing alike, that we've got nothing in common. And it ruins the dynamic, and these people start growing apart. You often see that's one of the reasons why people get divorced, is that they've grown apart because they don't have things that they have similar interests in, you see. And a lot of the time, a lot of people take more consideration into getting a mortgage or getting a new car than they do getting someone to be with, right? Than they do dating someone. And what's crazy about that is that, what they're doing is they're essentially looking at the other person's potential. Like, oh yeah, maybe I can change them, or maybe they'll start to like these things in the future. Right? Or maybe, they don't want kids, but, maybe I can change their mind. They're always kind of like looking for that hope, basically, and trying to change them in that way. And that always leads to misery, unfortunately, and a lot of times divorce if you get married to them. So it's really important that you pick the right person. And not only do you have similar interests, but you actually like hanging out with them, right? Yeah, they may be the hottest person on the planet and you've got a lot of passion between you two, but do you get on, right? Or are you arguing all the time? Do you like each other's company, or are you constantly bickering at each other, right? You've got to really figure out these things, right? So it's important then to find someone who is essentially like you. Now, it doesn't mean they have to find someone so like you that they dress like you and things like that, right? And that's not what I mean, but someone who has the same lifestyle as you, who wants the same things in life as you, who has at least some similar interests and hobbies, right? And who you can basically stand to be around, right? Because it's important that you don't just find someone who you're attracted to. It's also important that you find someone who can be a good companion, right? Because if you guys have kids, once the kids are gone, and it's just you two on your own, you got to figure out a way to live and coexist with each other, right? Right? Because if you're finding someone to be with, you got to realize that this is like a 50-year deal. This is death till us part, basically, right? So you got to make sure that you pick someone pretty good, right? Someone who you actually like being around and they like being around you, and you can have a laugh and you're good companions, not just the romance. Now, the romance is important and the attraction is important, right? It's important that you're attracted to your partner and they're attracted to you, right? And you've got that, good, healthy sex life. But also, you've got to enjoy each other's company when you're not being intimate. Basically, you've got to be able to enjoy each other and like each other's company too. It's so important, and that's one of the reasons why so many divorces happen, is that they don't actually like each other. There's, like, for example, there's a couple I know that they don't spend the weekends together. She does her thing and he goes out and does his thing, and they don't like spending time together, because when they do spend time together they just argue, right? And it's because they don't like each other. Right? Essentially, they're not friends, right? So you need to be friends as well as romantic lovers. It's so important for your sanity and your health, basically, because if you're always bickering and you're always arguing, if things are always on edge, then you're not going to live as long as someone who's with their partner who they really love and care about, and they're good friends and they're companions and they laugh all the time and they have a great bond, right? So it's important that you're selective and you have high standards when you're dating and you're searching for someone like that. You're searching for someone who you enjoy being around and they enjoy being around you, and you have a good bond and you laugh and you have fun together, right? And you are attracted to each other and you have similar interests, right? Even if some of them, is not quite aligned, most of them are, and at least the most important ones are, right? So you need to figure out what those things are for you. Okay, so another thing that can get anyone to want you, to make you more attractive, is to have some goals, basically, and have some passion in your life, right? Because sometimes what people are looking for is, when they go on a date, is they're looking for someone who is alive, right? Not just someone who hates their life and their circumstances and is depressed and is like, oh yeah, I just hate the world, everything's awful, I hate my job, I hate my life, I hate my circumstances, right? What people are looking for a lot of the time is that they're looking for someone who's got that passion for life, who's got something that they really, really love. Even if that person is not really too interested in what that person is passionate about, you've at least got to find something that you're really passionate about, that you're really excited about, whether it's a project, whether it's a career venture, maybe you've got like a side business or something that you're really, really happy about and you're really passionate about, that you're trying to create for yourself. Or it could be, like something simple like a hobby that you're just super passionate about, right? So it's always good to have that passion and enthusiasm, because basically what they'll do is, when they're talking to you, and then you start talking about the thing that you're passionate about, they might be asking you questions basically about, what do you like to do? And you're like, oh yeah, I have this side business. Oh yeah, I have this hobby, and what I do is this and this and this and this. And it's so amazing. It's so fun, and I enjoy it. And each time I do this activity, it's like I'm in flow and it feels amazing. And, it's like that, and you come alive, right? And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for that passion, they're looking for that fire, they're looking for that spark in you. But if you're someone who just hates their life and their circumstances, and you're just like, yeah, well, I'm just trying to get through the work week, so I can chill out on the weekends and watch some Netflix and play some video games, whatever, you're not going to look interesting, you're going to look boring and dull, and you're going to look depressing as well. And you might have met the perfect person for you, but because you don't have something that you're passionate about, something that ignites your spirit and fire and inspiration, they're looking at you and thinking, oh yeah, well, he or she, they're great in these ways, but you know what, they're just not happy. They just don't enjoy their life. They've got nothing that really makes them happy in life. And you know what, I don't think I want to hang out with that person anymore. I don't think I want to continue to see that person, because maybe if I keep on hanging around this person and we start dating and we get into a serious relationship, then I'm going to start feeling that way about life as well. And I don't want that. I want to find someone who has a little bit more happiness in their life, who has a bit more passion in their life about something, right? So those are really, really important. So thank you so much for watching. If you would like to get in touch with me personally and you would like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.